Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Moon Knight Season 1, Episode 4, The Tomb. I've realized something. Moon Knight is so far the only superhero show that I know of where the title hero rarely appears in its own series. And I'm not talking about how like an episode, say, might have like a lot of drama in it, and there are two like fight scenes beginning and end of like the beginning of the show and the end of the show. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean where the hero literally barely shows up. Like the hero showed up for basically a cameo in the first episode. He showed up for probably like a minute or so, a couple of minutes in the second. In the third, I don't think at all he showed up. Mr. Knight did, but the show is screwing up his character from the comic books. And now in the fourth episode, he doesn't appear at all. And so I know he's gonna reappear at some point in time because there are only two more episodes and they have to have him. But when people go to watch superhero stuff, they want to see that superhero, and this is a show that doesn't do it, which is kind of weird. And this show I'm having the same problem with this show that I'm kind of having with that of Swamp Thing and Blade. I've talked about in Swamp Thing that the show is called Swamp Thing and the other show is called Blade, but the show don't focus on them. It actually focuses more on the main female characters. In Swamp Thing, it focused on the love interest, and in Blade, it focused on the female character they introduced. Now, in this show, it's slightly different. This show focuses more on that of just Steven, Mark, and the Layla aspect. And so if they wanted to make a show about those three people, just make a show about those three people and just leave Moon Knight out. But you can't leave Moon Knight out because Mark Spector is Moon Knight. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, this show is trying to be different. So I can give them props for that. But I'm not seeing any payoff of this difference and stuff. Now, back in the good old days, the superhero stuff, we were used to a formula where everything stayed in its own universe. If you had Batman animated series, you would not see no other hero pop up in that show. And then, so like, in cartoon for the most part, yeah, okay, fine. They do pop up. Like, say, in Superman, people started popping up. And then, like, in Justice League, people started popping up, other heroes. But for the most part, Teen Titans and that of Young Justice is its own contained thing where, you're going to have multiple people. And they don't cross over with other shows. And so, but when it comes to live action back in the day, people stayed in their own universe, so you assume that's the only hero in that entire show. Now, because we're spoiled with the whole MCU breaking that mold, now everything's a shared universe, everything's connected. Same thing with the Arrowverse, so now we are used to this formula. So, one of the things that's been disappointing me is that, how does this tie into the MCU? So far, it don't. And so, I would have been okay with this years ago if this formula has not rewrote my brain on how superhero stuff should be now. Because with every other Marvel Plus show, it's tying into that of the movies. And there's a good reason for it. But are we getting the Easter egg of Kane the Conqueror and that of Moon Knight? That I don't know. So it's making me wonder what is really the point of this show. And what's the point in having this show if the hero is not even going to be the main focus of this show? So I am having conflicting problems with that. And it's kind of causing me not to enjoy this series. At first, I wasn't even going to talk about this episode. But I want to talk about the ending mostly because it was a missed opportunity. Disney don't know when to just stop, let things breathe, and let us take it all in and be excited and amazed for like the next episode, because they kind of spoiled that towards the end with why Steven and Mark are in the same scene and stuff. So let me just talk about the episode first. So first, they're still in Egypt and they're looking for this artifact. And so we get a scene where they're being chased by cars by the bad people. And so Steven is such a weenie, so of course whatever with him. You know what I'm saying? So, but Layla does some cool stuff. She's taking them out. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. They're finally bringing action into this show. And it was actually thrilling and everything. And then so they get inside like the tomb and they're looking around. And before Steven can go down the tomb, something happens. One of his other personalities took over again. And it did something to him off camera. What did it do? We don't know because this show does not want to show us. This show wants to be the biggest mystery of them all. And so Steve finally goes down there. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this really Steve? Or is it that third personality we haven't seen yet? I think the third personality is John Loxley, I believe. I think he's supposed to be a taxi cab driver in the comics and stuff. And so they're down there and they're looking for stuff, and there's like this weird monster looking thing, right? Now the monster looking thing looked really cool and everything. It looked for the most part practical, but with this show you never know. So it could have been a combo of VFX and practical and stuff. And it's one of those things, it's like there's fresh blood everywhere, right? So it's like, wow, why is there fresh blood? And why couldn't we see this person get killed? Because this show is shying away from all the violence and the gore. And so like it's doing like the whole, cutting open like I guess like the body or removing like the brain. It's doing something to the body. It's making it red. Let's put it like that. So they're hiding and everything. And Mark's all like, let me take over. This is a suicide mission, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Steven doesn't want to because Steven thinks he's all that. And so Layla is taking charge again and she distracts the monster thing and takes off running. And so they get split up, right? And so she defeats the monster thing. I forget how is that. Maybe it fails, something like that. Because she's in a place where she has to like watch her step. So as Stephen is being like gushing over like the Egyptian stuff that he sees that he has found the ancient tomb of Alexander the Great. Yes, in fact, his tomb has never been found still to this day. Now somebody believe they have found it, but nobody knows if they're telling the truth or not. His tomb got moved. First he was supposed to be buried in Memphis, and then he got moved to the city of like Alexandria. But they don't know where it's at because they hid it and stuff like that. And if you look online, it says like Cleopatra and Caesar and all them, and probably Mark Antony, all went to supposedly his tomb and saw everything. But hey, we don't know. It's probably misdirection in real life. You know what I'm saying? So this is a big thing for Stephen, and he's happy. And it's kind of like good for Stephen and everything. So he realizes to get the artifact, since Alexander the Great was the something of the mouth or something of the sound, because he has to put like he sees this hieroglyphic of an eye. We've all seen this eye before with that little weird long curly thing, and he said that's supposed to be like a tongue. And since it's something of Alexander, something of sound or music or something like that. So he figured, okay, the artifact must be inside. So this is kind of like a gory scene of him ripping open the mummy stuff and popping open the mouth and putting his hand in there. So that's kind of gross and everything. So at least they got that part and everything, right? So he finds it. But of course, the bad guys are there and stuff like that. And then we get the whole new villain trope thing where everybody wants to believe the villain. So bad dude Arthur telling Layla some stuff about her daddy. She ain't too thrilled about that. Because she don't know how her dad died, but Stephen was the only person there, and he has never revealed how she died. He says he forgot. So, being the modern day television storytelling, she believes the villain. Why is that? Why is it in movies and TV shows now people are believing villains? However, when it comes to Arthur, you gotta give it up to this man. What he says tends to be true. When he started talking about Khonshu and everything and how the other gods don't like him, that turned out to be true. So you believe what he's saying about her father. So she goes pissed off, and she's pissed off at Mark. But of course, Mark is now Steve, and it looks like she wants to kill him. And I'm thinking to myself, because there's something about her that seems shady. I don't know what it is about her, but I feel like I can't trust her for some reason. Because there's something mysterious about her. So she's pissed. She wants to talk to Mark and everything. And he tells her straight up he had a partner. He betrayed Mark and her dad and killed her dad. Now, I've seen one person online talking about what if Loxley was the one that murdered her dad and Mark is just lying. I don't think he's going to lie twice to her because she's pretty furious. And furious she is, she would have killed Mark, no matter who personality is. Now, sadly, the show is doing that one stupid thing of the love triangle. Steven and Layla are falling for each other and they kiss. And it pisses off Mark to his dismay. And he's all like, kiss my wife and everything. And so I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that trope. It's played out. It's stale. It's boring. Let's move on from that. So, of course, bad guys are coming, and they make things difficult, and then Mark tries to fight them off. There's a little teeny tiny bit of a fight scene. This show wants to push away from action so bad, and gore. But Mark gets shot twice in the chest, and he falls in the water, and then something very interesting happens. What happens? This is the part where Disney needs to learn how to stop, let it breathe, and don't continue. This part I really like. Mark is in a mental institution. He's watching a movie. The movie is about like an Indiana Jones type person. A person named Dr. Stephen Grant. So it makes me think, oh, that's where he got this personality from. So that's how like Steven got like created. And then we start seeing people all around the room. We start to see the human statue dude. He's there in the mental place. The two cops that work for Arthur and everything. They're there as orderlies and everything. We see Layla kooky and crazy because she's there. So it's like, oh crap, this is what the show pulled off. It is genius. He's been living in his mind the entire time, and this whole Moon Knight thing is just like a fictional thing. I'm like, my God, I give you props, Disney. You did some good stuff there. Yeah, that takes away from that in the comment, but hey, at least you tricked everybody into telling something that was interesting. And then so like the psychiatrist is Arthur and everything, and then Mark starts to see something weird is going on with the feet and the shoes, and like Dr. wouldn't wear shoes like that, and then he starts getting kind of weird. We see the goldfish and stuff like that. We see he has a toy of Moon Knight. He is somebody drawing a picture of Khonshu and everything. So it's kind of like all of this must be in his head, but they should have left it like that. Now see, this is from the comic and everything, where he is sent to a mental institution. But this is the problem right here, right now. They should have just left that how it was, making us, the viewer, think this is all in his head. Then the next episode should have been all about this. No tricks, no this and that. We should really believe that this dude is that mental. Then they done this before. They did it in Buffy. They did it in Ash versus Evil Dead. And because those didn't really tell like a story arc, they was just episodic, they resolved everything in one episode. Here's the problem Disney had. They let us know that this is all some type of illusion and everything. Something is going on. So this is not reality. And Mark starts to suspect that. So he tries to escape. He sees a sarcophagus. He opens up the tomb, the sarcophagus thing. And inside is Steven. This is why there are two Stevens now. And so they're inside, I guess, the mental limbo state of like the mind or something like that. And so they're running and they're running. And all of a sudden, it's like a knock at the door. And then all of a sudden, a hippo comes out. And they both scream. And this is more what I have a problem with. That Disney humor, that baby humor. Oh, okay, first thing first. Hippo lady, and by the way, she just says hi, like in a really nice, sweet kind of way, and they get scared and they freak out. Now I can understand why Steven freaked out, because Steven's a weenie. But why did Mark freak out? Mark is this mercenary who goes around killing folks, and not only that, but he knows what Khonshu looks like. So why is he scared of a hippo woman? Khonshu is literally a floating bird's head on a body. But he's not scared of that, but he's scared of hippo lady? That's where the Disney humor comes in. And I'm sick of the Disney humor. The Disney humor, see, The Disney humor is the equivalent of a long-winded speech in the Arrowverse. When I hear a long-winded speech, I turn it off and I don't go back. And this is how I want to get every time I see humor in the MCU. I just want to turn it off, but I'm paying for this crap, so I can't just turn it off. I have to get my money's worth until I'm done watching everything I want to watch on Disney Plus, and I am never going back because I can't take this no more. And so it's a problem I'm having with the Thor Love Thunder, whatever it's called, because was it funny? Sure, I laughed. And I'm gonna laugh if I decide to watch it. And that's a big if, because I'm deciding I'm probably not gonna watch it because I'm tired of the humor. And so, but it was funny. But I'm tired of laughing in Marvel movies. Also, when Natalie Portman, I like her. She's a very good actress. I've seen her in a couple of stuff. My problem is, I don't like the fact that she walked away from Marvel, then came back when they offered her more money and to be a superhero. That pissed me off. She walked away and she left because of a dumb reason. They fired Patty Jenkins because Patty Jenkins wanted to turn the second Thor movie into a love movie. They said no. She quit or got fired, and Natalie Portman said bye. And that to me is not being a team player. And she left. She didn't even want to film her scenes in Endgame. They had to get a stand-in and use her dialogue from an older movie. Forget her, all right? Forget her. She only came back for the money and to be a hero. Forget her. I like her, but forget her. Now back to Hippo Woman. Now the CGI, it looks fine. It's passable. But my problem is they made her look sweet, cuddly, and fluffy. And that's more the Disney stuff for kids. They can't hurt the little kitty eyes and everything. And my problem with that is, make her look like an Egyptian god. Or goddess, I should say. Make her look cool. Don't make her look like something from Sesame Street. And that's what she looks like. And my problem is, why in the world did Mark scream? Why is he scared? He knows what Khonshu looks like. He has fought those jackal things. But he's scared of that? Bye.